Hey guys, Alex Sturgeon here, Hobbytown Hobbyplex, and for this summer season, I got myself a brand new 22 5.0 Elite buggy. And if you guys are anything like me, we get a whole bunch of associated offset wheels lying around, and you don't want to waste them. There is a front end mod that you can do to this car now that makes it so that you can use associated front wheels. I tried to find information on how to do it really on the internet, on Facebook, all that good stuff. I found a little bit, but I didn't see anything that was a clear step-by-step sort of instruction. So I kind of had to learn how to do it on my own. I feel like I've got the process down pretty good now, and I wanted to show you guys how to get it done. So let's get right into it. Hopefully this video will help you out, and you can keep using all those wheels that you have lying around. Okay, in order to make this happen, you're going to have to obviously have a front A-arm, front caster block, a Dremel with a cutting wheel, a sanding drum, and then a front axle. The right axle to use, I guess you could say, is the Team Losi short course axle. Unfortunately, they've been out of stock until like April of 2023. So at this time, our store didn't have any, and I couldn't order any. There's also some drag racing axles out there. I couldn't find any in stock either. So we're going to use a Team Associated V6 front axle. We are going to have to cut it, and then we're also going to have to, instead of using a 3x6, we're going to use a 3x4 millimeter screw to hold it in place with a tiny little bit of thread lock. So for the front end mod, that's what we got to do. Let's get to it. All right, so for the caster block, for the front caster block, what I like to do is get a Sharpie out and actually mark where I'm going to cut. You can kind of see, there we go. You can see we want to leave as much material around as possible, but you do need to get quite a bit of this block out of the way. And I think that marking it with a Sharpie beforehand is a good idea. That way we don't get lost with what we're trying to do. All right, so at this time, it doesn't really have to look pretty because that's what the sanding drum's all about. So you can see that's some material we've taken off. Now what we're going to do is use that sanding drum to kind of clean this up and just kind of round off some of the edges and stuff so that it doesn't break. right, so using that sanding drum is really nice because you can kind of smooth out everything, round off any edges that you think might pose a little problem there. And again, this is what we're getting at. Let's see if I can get a better view of that. That little curve right there. We don't want to get too far into here because, of course, that's where your kingpin axle. What do they call that? that's where your screw goes in to hold this in place. Same thing. You can kind of see that material. This one I might even have gone a little bit too far, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything right there. So again, there's enough material here and back behind there that it shouldn't be a problem. So all right, let's show you how to do the arm. Okay, for the front arm, we're only going to take away as little as possible to get rid of this outside hole, and it's real easy with the cutting wheel. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect because we're about to clean it up with the sanding drum. So once again, we're just going to round off the ends of this arm and try to give it a nice, I don't know, hopefully not even look like it's had anything done to it look. So we'll see. There you go. Everything's just kind of rounded off. We didn't take too much material away. We want to make the arm last when we hit stuff, because inevitably we're going to hit stuff. Okay, let's see what it looks like when it's together. One last thing, I would highly recommend having a couple spares. So make a couple spares of arms and a couple spares of C-hubs. That way, if you're at the track and you break and you don't happen to have a Dremel on you or anything like that, if you're going to do this, have some spare parts. A little tight. All right, so look at that. That's what we're getting for right there. Right in view. Okay, so now your car can do what it's supposed to and in its new spot. Now, we're not done yet. We got one more thing we got to do, and that's to get the right axle onto the wheel so we can use our kind of associated wheels that I have a whole bunch of. Let's move on. All right, so in order to make our associated axle, since we don't have the low C SCT axles on hand. An associated axle, B6, will work, but we do have to cut it. So you got to cut it 2 millimeters. So just get your calipers out. I'm trying to keep this in frame. Sorry, guys. Oh, had it. Close enough. Okay. Should open the cap first. That's okay. And again, I'm just going to kind of mark it so I don't screw anything up. This doesn't necessarily have to be perfect either, but you definitely don't want to take off more than 2 millimeters. The reason why you have to take off a little bit of it is because otherwise, even if you put a bunch of shims in back, it would actually hit the spindle. It would hit the caster block, not the spindle. All right, good enough. Okay, I know it doesn't have to be said, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Make sure you guys are wearing your eyewear, protective glasses, whatever, just that way if the disc breaks, it doesn't get you, doesn't whack you. I'm actually going to use shock shaft pliers to hold the axle, so it will get a little hot. So you do gotta have something to kind of hold it. All right, here we go. Hot, 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 hot. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. I would stop the video, but I kind of want to get this done, so we're just going to finish it off. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, got our spindle, bearing, our cut axle, and I did put a little tiny bit of thread lock in there. So we're going to get this cut axle into our spindle. Look at that, nice and flush. See how flush that is? Okay. This is where this 3x4 millimeter button head screw comes instead of a 3x6 that comes stock on the Losi axle, because when you cut this, you lose a little bit of thread and the inside doesn't go in all the way. I like to just barely dip enough thread lock to hold it in place so it doesn't come out in the middle of a race. And we're going to tighten her down. And shock shaft pliers come in real handy here to tighten that down all the way. And then just make sure that it's free. Look at that. Totally free. Okay. Let's see what it looks like on the car. All right, so there you go. Got 2 front end modded arms and C-hubs and axles. The only thing I didn't do is they are putting a middle hole at the top, but since this car's new to me and I didn't really feel comfortable drilling a hole right in between the two, I just feel like I run into a lot of stuff, so I didn't feel like putting a hole in that could possibly strip, and I wouldn't trust myself. So I'm going to leave it in the outside hole for now. And if I need to, we'll make changes when we get to the track. Wouldn't be that hard to drill a hole in the middle, but for now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it. Let's see what it looks like with the wheels on. All right, here we are, wheels on, tire spin. Got full turn, full lock, both directions, both sides. It's pretty exciting. Brand new car, and I got a whole bunch of wheels and tires that I can use on it now doing the front end mod. Hopefully this video helped you out. I kind of had to learn it on my own, and once I figured it out, just felt like passing it on since I didn't see a whole lot out there on YouTube. So I guess kind of going into this weekend blind, going to run this car for the first time. I had a 3.0 number of years ago when it first came out, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. That's it for now. Make sure that you subscribe, like, tell your friends, and we'll see you at the track. Thanks for tuning in.